everybody and welcome back to D7RTV. I'm Carl and this is still the unnamed Clio. Since the last video, we've done a few little upgrades on it. I took her out for a bit of a shakedown earlier on some country lanes and I wasn't disappointed. There's a few things that still need to be sorted out. Like I've got no speedo, so a new speed sensor's on its way. But what have we been up to? Well, stay tuned. As you can see, she's got a program filter on now, and we've give the engine bay quite a bit of a tidy up and a freshen up. For some reason the map sensor was unplugged, but it seemed to work fine when we took her out for a blast earlier. I made this little induction kit using the program that I had in stock. I had an ash silicone hose from another job I had, but this was spare, so I conjured something up. I needed a return or another vent which goes into the inlet, so I took the one off, should I say, the old 90-degree elbow which goes to the airbox, and bonded it into the silicone hose. And the noise of it, Jesus Christ, it sounds good. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes on power it sounds really good, so I'm happy with that. I had to cut down this hose a little bit. I put a aluminium piece inside to make it clamp down onto this and make it a little bit more rigid. I do want to move the ECU down onto the battery cover. Well, the old battery tray. This one's been chopped because it also doubles up as a gearbox mount, but I've got a nice powder coated one and I want to mount this to the new one at some point. What do we have here? This is the same as the one we've used for the induction kit. We've cut about 30mm off the end to shorten the length so it sits on the throttle body a little bit better and keeps away from the ECU. This is the old steering wheel that was on there, the OMP one. I've now got my flat bottom steering wheel instead of this dish one, which I'm happy about, and I feel like the car feels nicer to drive. Has less feedback. This is the old airbox, and this horrible, disgusting piece here was mounted into the bumper. But we've got another bumper coming, and that'll be fitted. Winning. Step into my office. As you can see, my flat bottom steering wheel's on. Not flat bottom, my flat face steering wheel's on. And with my driving position, with the deep dish, it was more like here, and because this car's got no power steering, that's hard enough to drive as it is because you feel every bump and contour of the road. This just sort of, it feels a little bit better, and it's not like here. I don't feel like a minion, and it gives a better driving experience. I've got the Volantec cruise control button thing on here. I had that. I don't really need it because my cruise control works off my buttons now that I've fitted it. My electronic stability traction control doesn't work yet, but it will do. I've also fitted the cup holders in this piece down here, which is like the gear shifter surround. That was important for me to put in there because obviously when you're driving along, I've got like the cigarette lighter there for my 12 volts for charging my phone, so I've got a sat nav and stuff, and it also has the some cup holders so I can have a drink now, so it makes it less of a deed to drive, should I say, on a long journey. I can have a drink, so a little bit nicer. I still need to get a steering wheel cowling round here. I still need a stereo. There's no looms in these doors from what I can figure out. There's no plugs to it. There is to the car, but underneath this piece there's a load of cut wires, and I don't know what they're for. So as I said before, I can see me pulling this whole dash out and replacing the whole loom. I don't think the back looms cut too much, or if at all, but I'm definitely going to be fitting or splicing in part of the loom that's going to get my stereo and my speakers and stuff to work. I want central locking at the minute. There's a key in the other door, a lock, and there's a lock in this one, but I want it to work off a fob. So if that's possible, I'm going to make that happen as well. So yeah, a couple of little things. Horn works. It's probably the first time I've ever got a Clio one to work. Fortunately, it was already wired up, so it wasn't too bad. This isn't wired up yet, the cruise control. I don't really need it yet, but with the buttons on the steering wheel, it just makes it look a little bit more race car and cooler. But yeah, I'm getting a little bit happier in here. Need a carpet and some other bits and bobs, but it is what it is. It all takes time. I need these bits to come. I've definitely got the other Clio coming now. Exactly the same, but it's like a full car. I don't own the engine and gearbox in it because it was a customer's car that he bought as a donor. It's a pretty decent shell. It's got a really good interior, so I'll be pillaging that for the bits I want to make this one feel a bit nicer, because this will be my car that I'll be using. And I don't know what's going to happen with the other car yet. I might take these doors off and swap the doors over, so I've got like electric windows, and then these will maybe go on the other one, and then I might build something a little bit more track orientated, and this will just be like club sport trackable if I want, but the other one will be a little bit more dedicated. So yeah, well, today is another day, and finally our speed sensors arrived to try and get the speedo working. These are about 20 quid off eBay, and we're going to try and show you how to change one, because this is quite a common fault that they come up with, where you don't get no speedo on your clocks. So we're going to try and get that working. Right, so tucked down the back of the engine by the exhaust manifold is this this here. I don't know whether yours will have it. They don't tend to be on a lot of them, but this is like a heat shield for the exhaust, and this is where your speed sensor sits. So you take off the heat shield, then reach down. I can't see, so the camera's in the way, but give it a good pull, and the speed sensor pops out of the gearbox. Then you unplug it, pop your new one in, and hopefully job's a good one. So here we have the old one, and here we have the new one. So we're going to go and fit that. There's like 3 pins inside. Make sure you get the right one, and hopefully popping this in, our speed sensor will work, and we'll have speedo working. Success! Right, so now my speedometer works. When I'm changing the speed sensor, nice, cheap, easy fix. We want to be swapping out the bucket seat because I really want my Sabelt seat in there. And also, when I put the gear stick surround cowling and everything back in, wired in the cigarette lighter, now everything works, so I can have a sat nav and stuff. Still need to get around to wiring the stereo and everything in, but that shouldn't be too bad. We're going to take that seat off and then fit my Sabelt seat. Needs a bit of a hoover. It's been in storage for a few months, but it's about time for me to get this in there, and this will start to feel more like my car then, and the way I want it to feel. This Merco RTS seat is a beautiful seat. It's a limited edition, so it says on the stitching. It's comfortable, it's lightweight, but it's not Sabelt, so that's its only downfall. So we're going to start getting this removed and then the Sabelt one fitted. definitely feels like Matilda now. This is how I want my driving position. I mean, it's got John Fossard low subframes that the side mounts bolt to. My old ones used to be the omp ones that match the steering wheel. The passenger side's got an omp one, but this John Fossard one, it puts it in a nicer position. I mean, I could do with sitting up a little bit higher, so I might put my omp one back in because I still own that. I still have that here, so that might be something I'll do in the future, but I'll try and get used to this. But this is perfect for my arse, and when you're on a long journey or whatever, or you're going to do a track day, you don't want to be sliding around, whereas that Merco's a little bit for a more wider arse and not really my build. So, winning. So today's another day. It's bright and sunny outside. I did a little bit more on the Sierra because some parts come, but that'll all be revealed soon. So, what we're going to do, you know, I need some more interior trim panels, and this morning on the way in, I collected some, courtesy of Angelo's Scrapyard and our good friends over there, Telford. Sorted us a fair few trim panels we needed. We still need quite a bit more, but these will get us started. What do we have, you may ask? Well, they had a 1.2 Sport Mark II Clio in. They've had it in for a while, a bit longer than I had the Clio. So if I would have known that I was having a Clio, I would have pulled these out before the car got stacked up on. So what we got, anyone with a Clio RS Mark II will know that the dash top and some of the trim panels have got like a rubber coating on, and they're disgusting, and over time they start to wear and look shit. So the base models, they don't have that coating, and it's just nice plastic. So I've got a whole dash top, I've got a handbrake surround to go in. I still need a carpet, so I'll have to whip most of the stuff back out, but when I find a nice carpet that hasn't got holes in, they'll be going in. Always pick these up when I can get hold of them. The cup holders and the ashtray, because they always come in handy. The non-sticky locks and windows and hazard button little panel. Needed a fuse box panel. These go around the side of the front of the windscreen. That's for your stereo. It's OEM. We haven't got an OEM stereo in now. Well, we ain't got a stereo at all, but there'll be a hole in the cowling which goes around the steering wheel, and that's just going to go in just to fill the hole to make it look a bit neater. Steering wheel cowling to go around there, and some clocks because mine are a bit dim. Also, these little trim panels, they're not in the best of condition. I will get some better ones when they come up, but they hide all the screws that hold the dash top on. So what we're going to do today is show you how to fit them. Winning. So what we're going to do first, inside the car, I've moved the car in the shade so it'll be a bit better visually, is if you have the trims in, I mean, I highly recommend changing these for the non-RS ones because they're just nice. These go sticky, and then on your door cards, if you've got door cards that is, all that goes sticky where your window buttons are. So on this side there's 3 T20s. They're usually a little bit stiff, and I haven't got the best T20 because I've worn the end down a little bit, so I've got to basically wing it. I did untighten them a little because they can be pretty stiff. We're going to remove this dash top. Either side, at the back of this vent here on the side, there's some T30s, and they're plastic, and these are all T20s, and there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So 6 T20s. Then you've got a further 3 inside this vent at the top to remove. They're a bit trickier. Removing the one from the scrapyard was tricky in itself. It got stuck in the far corner and took me about half hour to get out when they shouldn't be that hard. But it did have a car on top of it, so it wasn't the best of access, and 2 cars either side. So let's get to it. So now your dash top's removed. It was easier than getting the other one out of the donor car. If your clocks are like your time clock is a little bit hazy, there's two little tabs, so you push them down and you should be able to push this up if it's anything like the other one. So, and you pull it forward. So you unplug this, but this looks like a different one, so that might be one for another time. Yeah, it's a different clock, so looks like that one will be stopping in for now until I can find a better one. But that's how that comes out either way. And push it down, slide it back in. I mean, it's not awful, but it'll do for now. I haven't set the time in it, so I haven't used the car yet, so I'll constantly undo the battery so it doesn't drain the battery at all. So it's time to get the replacement dash top in. Don't forget, on the top of the dash is your VIN number, and you want to be swapping that onto your new dash. I mean, it's sort of vital because there's two chassis numbers on this car, and one's under your driver's seat, which is etched in or pressed in. And then you got a little plastic badge on top of your dash, and you want to very carefully pull this up without damaging it. It's a warm day, so the sticky's coming off with it, which is perfect. And then you put this on your new one. Make sure it's stuck down properly, and then job's a good one. So as you can see, that's all lined up. It's much nicer looking. I'll give you a close-up of that shortly. So then you just repeat the process of what you've took out. These were removed, these three here, from the car originally. The screws wasn't in there, but they are these T20, and they're like a round barb. So we're gonna make sure it's all back in properly. Like so. So we'll tighten all them up. Then you've got your plastic T30s that go in the side. And they just push in. Then, trying to remember which ones come out the top. I believe it's them ones. So these go in the top. I've changed this for the hazards, so that's all non-sticky type now. So Just a case of screwing it all back together, then putting the trim panels back on, then you're done. It soon became apparent that the handbrake surround wouldn't go on because the battery location wire was in the way, so it wouldn't clip down. Right, now we've got the cowling to go around the steering wheel, and you want to be doing that first. There's 3 screws, 2 shorter ones, T20s, then 1 long one, which goes in the bottom. So these 2 in the top, the 1 in the bottom. So this can be a bit of a faff. So you get it over the adjuster for the steering wheel height, if you can. These things never make it easy for you. Make sure that these rubbers are inside, so it can be a pain to get out. It should sit around like that. Then you get the top. You hook it in at the back first. It should snap into position, like so. It's not quite sitting in there right, but better than it was. Did that one before. Just tuck the other side in a little, like so. I'm going to get this right because my OCD is going to drive me nuts. Reposition it. No, it just wants to be a dickhead, but it is what it is. Now the other side's not playing ball. And tuck these rubber things in. This is what I'm doing on the other side, which you can't see yet. I'll sort that in a bit. So, as I said, 2 smaller ones first. Take your T20. And drive that into the hole at the bottom. I really need some new T20s because this one's knackered. That one's tight. Now the other side. Doesn't seem to want to play ball either. Change position. Try the bottom one. No, it's not quite sitting right. It needs to go down a bit further. It's been a while since I've faffed around doing this. basically like a captive screw under here. The screw goes into. But while I piss around with that, I'll pause it a minute. Right, that's this back in now. This cowling was a bit of a faff because it wasn't quite sat on the captive screw at the bottom. Then we've got the stereo thing. Don't need it, but again, it fills that hole there, makes it look a little bit neater. Then we've got these. That's passenger side. This is driver side, and these go over here by the side of the dash. The rubbers probably need to come down because they sit behind them, and these just clip in. If you can get them in. Easier said than done, but they've got to go in. There is more of a plastic trim that goes in there, but looks like the old owner of the car has deleted them. But as I said, most of the stuff's going to be returned to this car. Well, everything I need anyway. So that's one side in. It's got to do the passenger side, and then we're probably going to button it up.
They wanna know about the timeline, how we done it, how we do it, how we get by. They know I got it, so yeah, they wanna rap mine. Little copycats, yeah, they wanna bite mine. I can't listen to them, you're not in the right mind. Manifesting, you're out to get mine. Finally having the best time. Summertime, yeah, we're gonna take time. Shades on, phones off. When the bassline goes off, you know we can't stop, won't stop. And we dance to the morning, off. Tune just pops off. Like a fizzed up champers. Till your calves get crampers. You know it's gonna pop off. Shades on, phones off. When the bassline goes off, you know we can't stop, won't stop. And we dance in the morning, off. Tune just pops off. Like a fizzed up champers. Till your calves get crampers. You know it's gonna pop off. They wanna know about the current.
So this is the RS dash top and hazard switch, and this is what I was on about, the sticky stuff. See that you can literally leave your thumbprints on there when you press on it, and it's like a rubberized coating with like a sparkly effect in it. Shit idea. Should have just left them plastic or made them like hydro dipped or something, like a fake carbon effect or something would have been better. But yeah, this is why I've changed it out, and now it looks loads better. As for the rest of the car, I need to do like a false floor or something here to get rid of the wheel well. Probably get a lower profile battery so it sits further in there. But I want the carpets and stuff to deaden the sound a little bit because this is loud in here. And I want the plastics that go in the rear quarters, so I can put my speakers and that in there. I want a headline in, as you know. All the surrounds for the top of the windows and all the rubbers around there. I want all that going back in. But it's finding them. I can't get the ones out of the Clio at the scrapyard because one, the interior is slightly different. I mean, it's got the fake leather, but then it's got some green velour shit on it, like it's vile. Whereas the RS is a Alcantara or whatever. It's just a nicer finish. And they look much better. I'm not putting that green crap in here because it just look horrible. But yeah, carpets when I get them. The reason why I didn't put the handbrake surround in there is because of the way they've routed the battery relocation wiring, which is shit, to say the least. I usually run them down the side of the passenger seat, by the passenger door, and then they're hidden by the plastics that are missing. I don't run them at the front of the car. So if you wear through or something and touch them, you're probably going to get electrocuted, which is a great idea. Whoever come up with that. This washer bottle, I'm going to piss that off because, quite frankly, it has no need to be there. It's hidden in the cowling by underneath the windscreen, and that's exactly where it should live. They'll probably weigh a little over a kilogram full, which is nothing really. So yeah, so that's where we're going to finish up on this episode. Small bit of progress, but it's still progress nonetheless. We're getting there, we're chipping away at it. As I said before, this car was never going to be built in one episode. I mean, these things take time. This car is literally something to do in between jobs and when I'm waiting for parts and have spare time on my hands. But it's getting better every time we work on it. So it is what it is. Hope you enjoy what you've been watching and following along. We've showed you how to change the dash top and what to change it for to make your interiors a little bit nicer. But it is what it is. Where I can help, I will. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace out.